Hello and welcome back. This is lesson 2, formatting of questions. In this lesson, you will be able to format questions according to Responda's guidelines. We will focus on only 3 question types, which are the most common ones. These are true-false questions, multiple choice questions, and essay questions. As you go through, you will notice that multiple choice questions and true-false share similar characteristics. For true and false questions, when you start your question, make sure you start by writing the numbering system, either a 1 followed by a parentheses or the number followed by a period. Make sure there's no space between the 1 and the parentheses or the 1 and the period. If you put anything else besides the number that's not a parentheses or a period, you will not be able to export it into Respondus. Now, following the parentheses or the period, make sure you put a space before you start writing the text for your question. In this example, we have the question text is a triangle has 3 sides, but there has to be a space after the parentheses. If you don't put that space and you put them all together, you will receive an error when you try to export it. The nature of true-false questions is that they only have 2 options as answers. In this case, true or false. Notice how when we type our options, we start with the lettering system, A, B, followed by a period and then a space. Again, if you don't put that space, you will receive an error. Now, your answers can also begin with a capital letter. This is fine for Respondus. Lowercase or uppercase will be able to upload just fine. Also notice that for your answer text, you do not have to spell out the whole word for true or false. You can also just type in a lowercase or a uppercase T or lowercase uppercase F. Respondus will accept those options just fine. Now the last part of a question, now that we have our numbering system, the text, and the answer options, is to tell Respondus which is the correct answer. In this question, a triangle has 3 sides. The answer is A, true. But how do we tell Respondus that A is the correct answer? The way we tell Respondus which is the correct option is by typing an asterisk in front of the correct answer. In this case, the answer is true, for a triangle has 3 sides, so the asterisk goes in front of the letter A. Notice that there's no space between the asterisk and the A. If there was a space, there will be an error and you will not be able to export this question into Respondus. Let us now move on to multiple choice questions. Notice that for a multiple choice question, the numbering says the same. You put the number followed by a close parentheses or the number followed by a period. Now after the space, you can write the text of your question. So the format is number followed by either a close parentheses period, space, and then the question text. I mentioned before that a multiple choice it's similar to true and false questions in that a true or false only has 2 options. Now multiple choice can have more than 2. In this case we have 4. If there are more options, then you would just continue A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and so forth. In this example, we have 4 options. And just like with true and false questions, we identify the correct answer by placing an asterisk before the correct option. Notice also that if you put a space or a blank line after the question text and before your options, this is fine. Respondus will accept this. And finally, we look at essay questions. When you start writing them, you start the same way, with a number followed by either the close parentheses or the period. In order for Respondus to accept an essay type question, you need to include the following line for your essay question. It has to read type, colon, space, and then the letter E. This tells Respondus that we are working with an essay question. In both examples, we see that the essay question has a lot of features similar to a true or false or multiple choice. They have the number followed by either the close parentheses or a period followed by the space and then the text. the key item is that you need to include type :space E for it to work. Now, the nature of essay questions is that they're usually open-ended and there's not one correct answer. But in this case, you can also include an optional answer. In this case, we put A, period, space, and then the answer. So this is what a mock exam will look like. We have 3 questions. Notice the numbering, 1, 2, and 3, each of them followed by a period and space, and then the question text. We put an asterisk before the correct option, and in this example, our type E, our essay question, we do not include the optional answer. Now these 3 questions, you would usually write them in either a notepad or Microsoft Word or any similar product, save them, and then export them into Respondus. But that will be covered in another lesson.